Chloe personally digs out the supreme bone and gives it to you. But the moment she does, it instantly triggers a system notification. Option 1. Accept the supreme bone, gain the primordial eyes, and walk an invincible path from here on, eventually reaching the Earth realm. Option 2. Reject the reward and unlock the invincible rebound system instead. Anyone who meets this system's binding conditions receives all kinds of incredible rebounds. What kind of joke is this? Me, bound to the fated villain system? You've got the wrong person. Ding, rebound system activated successfully. The first rebound is guaranteed to trigger a billion-fold critical hit. Seeing this, your heart leaps with joy. You never expected the first drop rate to be this insane. But before you can even feel happy, voices of accusation suddenly ring out around you. Ethan, this is your supreme bone. You were born with it, but you've never been able to awaken it. On you, this bone is nothing but a pearl buried in dust. So I made the decision for you. From now on, it no longer belongs to you. Each word is like an ice-tempered blade, stabbing straight into your heart. The one speaking is Chloe, the sister you love most, dressed in blue. Her face carries an almost fanatical resolve, her hands cradling a bone that glows with divine light. It's your supreme bone. A trickle of blood spills from the corner of your mouth. The wound on your chest, deep enough to show bone, reveals exactly where it came from. The pain cuts to the marrow, but what hurts more is the betrayal. You stare at her in disbelief. This is the girl who once trailed behind you as a child, timidly calling you brother, promising to protect you for life. Why? Your voice comes out hoarse, every word trembling. Chloe's eyes don't waver at all. Instead, they're full of pity and disdain. Why? Ethan, don't you get it yet? You hold the supreme bone in name only. 16 years and you still haven't awakened it. Your cultivation is stuck at Chi refining 3rd level. You can't even use its power. Our Reed family needs a real powerhouse. I, Chloe, the future empress, can't afford a brother who can't cultivate. You'd only hold me back. This bone can only shine on someone who's truly gifted. Not waste away buried with you. Every word cuts deep. Well said, comes a voice from the main seat of the hall. The family's grand elder slams the armrest and barks sternly. Ethan, Chloe! This is for the family's greater good. As the elder brother, you never once shared the family's burdens. Instead, you've dragged your sister down. Do you understand your fault? My fault. You suddenly burst into a shrill, bitter laugh. You laugh until tears stream down your face. The blood soaking your chest spreads darker. You look around the hall. Elders, clansmen, outsiders here just to watch the show. Every single face is written with casual indifference and mockery. He should have given up that bone long ago. He's nothing but a burden on our Reed family. Chloe truly understands the greater good. She's a blessing to our family. Each remark grinds your dignity further into the dust, crushed over and over. So this is all you ever were, a burden, a sacrifice. The elders who once smiled warmly at you, the sister you once shielded and protected, all of it was fake. The last shred of warmth in your heart is completely crushed. Only cold fury remains. Chloe, don't waste words on him. An elder in fine silk robes steps forward, holding a jade box. His face oozes flattery. Master Julian is still waiting in the back hall. This supreme bone is meant for him. We can't keep him waiting. Your eyes widen. Now you understand. The mastermind behind all this is Julian, the outsider who recently arrived at the Reed family. With nothing but sweet talk and a handful of pills, he's wrapped Chloe and every elder around his finger. The so-called chosen one. He wants your bone just to hand it to another man. How laughable. Ethan, Julian is the real thing, a true dragon among men. He'll take me to a bigger stage. You'll only ever be a stone in my way. Chloe looks at you, her tone tinged with pride. Giving him your bone is its best possible fate. Consider it your final contribution to me. My final contribution. You laugh, dripping with irony, and force out the last of your strength. You grind the words out through clenched teeth. It's not your call. A cold glint flashes in the Grand Elder's eyes. A mountain of pressure crashes down on you. You're already gravely wounded. Your organs are damaged. Your mind starts to blur. Humiliation, resentment, rage. Wait, was I, Ethan, born just to be someone else's stepping stone? No, you refuse to accept it. Just as your consciousness is about to sink into darkness, a voice utterly devoid of emotion explodes in your mind. Ding, detecting player at a turning point of fate. Betrayed by kin, harboring intense resentment. Conditions met for the fated villain's system activation. System activation successful. Divine grade rebound. System, at your service. Rookie's choice, please select. Option 1. Accept reality. Accept the family's compensation, a low-grade item, and cultivate in peace. Reward, full recovery. Cultivation raised to Earth Realm, 1st level. Option 2. Refuse the scraps thrown at you. Walk the villain's path. Activate the billion-fold rebound. Anything you willingly give up, reject, or have stolen from you can trigger a critical rebound. This is your cheat power. Your fading consciousness jolts awake as you stare at the 2 choices before you. Not a moment's hesitation. Accept the compensation and cling to life? Impossible. You refuse. Even in death, you will never eat scraps thrown at you. Besides, Your gaze sweeps over the elders looking down on you, the sister who's shown no mercy, and finally lands on the supreme bone that once belonged to you, still glowing with divine light. A mere supreme bone. Is that supposed to be worthy of me, the fated villain? I choose option 2. You roar inside your mind, a roar loud enough to shake the heavens. Ding. Player has chosen. The billion-fold rebound function is now active. Rookie starter pack incoming. The first rebound is guaranteed to trigger a billion-fold critical hit. As the system's chime fades, a mysterious force wraps around your soul. Your fading life force flares back to life. Slowly, painfully, you lift your head from the ground. Your once gentle eyes now hold nothing but cold indifference. You want my bone. You look at Chloe, spacing each word deliberately. Fine, I'll give it to you, but you better be able to catch it. The moment you finish speaking, the entire hall falls dead silent. Everyone freezes. This man, with his pitifully weak cultivation, a man barely clinging to life, where does he get the nerve? The ramblings of a dying man. Still talking tough at death's door. The elder in fine silk sneers, his face full of contempt. Miss Chloe, ignore him. Hurry and hand over the supreme bone. Don't keep Master Julian waiting. Chloe snaps out of her daze, meets your icy stare, frowns slightly, then turns her head away. Still putting on an act. She stops looking at you, turns, and moves to hand the supreme bone to the elder. That's when you move. Gathering every ounce of remaining strength, you rise from the ground inch by inch, the wound in your chest still throbbing with pain. Your body sways, yet you stand straight. What's mine is only given when I say it's given. Ignoring everyone's reaction, you walk straight toward Chloe. Each step drags a faint mark across the floor, yet the presence radiating off you keeps building. What are you trying to do? Chloe, startled by your look, takes a step back and shouts sharply. Ethan, I'm warning you, don't humiliate yourself. You say nothing. You simply walk up to her and reach out a hand covered in dust. But your target isn't the supreme bone everyone covets. It's the low-grade spirit bone the elder had carelessly tossed on the ground earlier as your compensation. A dull gray bone, its spiritual energy pitifully thin. Under everyone's watch, you pick it up. Then without a second thought, you toss it back at the silk-robed elder's feet. Something like this doesn't deserve to insult my eyes. Your voice rings through the hall. And the instant you toss the spirit bone away, a heavenly chime bursts through your mind. Ding, player has refused and discarded a low-grade spirit bone. Billion-fold critical rebound triggered. Congratulations, player. Mythic-grade physique acquired, the chaos body. Boom. An indescribably vast surge of energy detonates inside your body. It sweeps through your limbs and bones like a tidal wave, reforging your meridians from the ground up. The horrific wound on your chest, nourished by the chaos energy, heals at a speed visible to the naked eye. Flesh regrows, bone regenerates. In an instant, the wound vanishes without a trace. The new skin is smooth and flawless as jade. All the pain in your body fades away, replaced by a boundless power like nothing you've ever felt. But it's not over yet. You turn your eyes to the faintly glowing supreme bone still in Chloe's hands. You furrow your brow. As for this bone, you say slowly, your tone mocking, it used to be mine, but the moment you carved it out of me, it stopped belonging to me. Something a man with ill intentions is about to get his hands on. I couldn't care less. The moment you finish, ding, player has fully renounced ownership of the supreme bone. Billion-fold critical rebound triggered. Congratulations, player. Mythic grade acquired. The primordial eyes. Deep within your eyes, it's as if the sun, moon, and stars themselves begin to swirl. A primordial glow of violet energy flickers through two deep, spinning vortexes. Your entire presence transforms. Every ounce of power, every strange phenomenon folds inward and hides. You simply stand there, yet no one dares to meet your eyes. You insolent wretch, how dare you insult Master Julian? The silk-robed elder is pushed past his limit. His face twists with fury as he roars, rage boiling over. A junior with no bone left dares to act this arrogant? I'll discipline you myself, on the family head's behalf. Before he even finishes speaking, his withered palm, trailing a vicious gust of wind, lunges straight for the crown of your skull. A grip both fast and devastatingly heavy, aimed straight at your vitals. Third elder, stop. Family head Damian Reed's expression changes. He tries to intervene, but it's already too late. Chloe watches coldly from the side. Yet facing this lethal strike, you don't even lift an eyelid. You don't move at all, not until that palm is a hair's breadth from touching you. Only then do you slowly raise your eyes. You simply glance at the third elder once. Bang. A vast, overwhelming pressure, one that belongs to no known form of spiritual power, explodes from your body. It's an absolute force originating from the very level of life itself. The third elder's attack collapses instantly. He shrieks and is hurled backward through the air. He slams hard into a stone pillar more than 10 meters away, shattering the pillar on impact. He slides down to the floor, blood pouring from the corner of his mouth. His aura is shattered, and he never even touched a thread of your clothing. A single glance, just one glance, and an Emperor Realm powerhouse is critically injured, half dead. How is this possible? The entire hall falls so silent you could hear a pin drop. Everyone is stunned, frozen in place, staring at you. Unscathed, your presence perfectly composed. Their minds go blank. Is this really the same man who couldn't even cultivate? Chloe's face drains of color. She instinctively takes half a step back. You don't bother sparing the gravely wounded third elder another glance. You turn toward Chloe, the corner of your mouth curling. The game has only just begun. The hall remains dead silent. Then, from the back hall, a gentle voice speaks. Chloe, don't waste your anger on an insect like him. He's not worth it. Before the words even finish, a figure in white steps out from behind the screen. Sword-sharp brows, bright eyes, a face like polished jade. It's Julian, the mastermind who schemed to steal your supreme bone. Julian! Chloe's eyes redden at the sight of him. She rushes to his side, pointing at you, choking out, He bullied me! I saw... Julian gently pats her back, then turns his gaze to you, brow furrowing, looking you over with a condescending scrutiny. So you're Ethan. His tone is flat, but heavy with authority. Not only do you show no gratitude, you repay kindness with malice, injuring an elder of the family. You truly don't know what's good for you. Your expression stays blank, while the clansmen around you murmur in agreement. Master Julian is right. A disloyal, unfilial wretch like this deserves to be cast out of the family. Hearing this, the smile on Julian's lips grows wider. This is exactly the effect he wants. He wants everyone to know that Julian is the one everyone should look up to, and you're nothing but a stepping stone. You look at him and oddly smile. The chosen one, huh? Everyone else in the hall only sees Julian's noble, commanding bearing. But you activate the primordial eyes and look closer. Name Julian, identity reborn, claims to be the chosen one. Fortune rank gold, but hollow, cobbled together entirely from things stolen from others. Fate, a fortune thief. Recent gain acquired the supreme bone from the Reed family. In 3 days at the mass grave east of the city, he will obtain an ancient expert's legacy technique, the heaven-scorching art. Line after line of information floats above Julian's head. So he's a fraud after all. It clicks in your mind. A black thread of stolen fortune runs straight from Chloe's body into Julian's, and Chloe still believes he's her true destined one. What are you smiling at? Your gaze unsettles Julian, as if every secret of his has been stripped bare. I'm laughing at you, you say, drawing out the words. How amusing. Killing intent flickers across Julian's face. Julian, don't listen to him. Chloe hands the supreme bone over to Julian. This bone is yours now. With it, your cultivation is bound to leap forward. Julian's eyes light up as he takes the supreme bone. Well, since it's your heartfelt gift, Chloe, I won't refuse it. He makes a tender, heartfelt promise. Chloe, don't worry. Once I fuse with this bone, I'll take you into the central sacred lands. I believe in you, Julian. Chloe's eyes turn red. The two of them gaze at each other with deep affection, surrounded by a chorus of blessings. You watch coldly from the side. A plan is already formed in your mind. If a gift can trigger a rebound even when it's refused, then this could get interesting. You walk slowly toward Chloe. Julian immediately steps in front of her protectively. Ethan, what are you trying to do? You don't even look at him. You simply pull out a plain little bottle from your robe and toss it casually to Chloe. You seemed pretty worked up just now. You must be drained. Your voice is flat. Inside is a low-grade chi recovery pill. Take it, restore some strength. Wouldn't want you fainting later when you watch Julian's fusion and getting too excited to stay conscious. Everyone exchanges glances. A low-grade chi recovery pill, the kind you can buy several of on the street for 1 silver coin. Is he trying to insult me? Chloe trembles all over, her face flushing red, feeling utterly humiliated. Ethan, what exactly are you trying to say? She shrieks and without a second thought smashes the little porcelain bottle onto the floor. Crack, the bottle shatters, and a dull gray pill rolls out. I don't need your fake kindness. Keep your cheap charity to yourself. Watching her fume with rage, you smile inwardly. Good. She took the bait. The instant the bottle shatters, the system's chime sounds. The low-grade chi recovery pill you gifted has been refused and destroyed. 10,000-fold critical rebound triggered. Congratulations, player. Supreme grade pill acquired. 1 9-fold foundation pill. The 9-fold foundation pill, consuming it reshapes one's foundation, forging an unrivaled cultivation base. It carries the power to defy fate itself. Done, you think, expressionless, glancing once at the pair. You turn, walk to a corner of the hall, sit down cross-legged, and close your eyes. Putting on an act, Julian scoffs coldly, assuming you've simply snapped under the shock, losing your grip on sanity. He wastes no more time. Elders, he announces loudly, please guard me. Today I, Julian, will fuse with the divine bone right here, and ascend in a single step. Good. The Reed family elders quickly set up a formation array. Julian glances at you in the corner. Watch closely. Watch how I replace you and take everything you have. He presses the supreme bone against his own chest. Meanwhile, in the corner, you sit in your mind's eye, studying the 9-fold foundation pill inside your system space. A useless bone, a divine pill. Julian, let's see if you're still smiling in a moment. Julian sits cross-legged at the center of the formation, pressing the treasured bone, still warm with your body heat, into his own chest. He lets out a muffled grunt, veins bulging on his forehead. The next instant, a blinding golden light erupts from his chest, soaring skyward. Dragon roars and phoenix cries echo, a magnificent natural omen. Master Julian truly is a son of the true dragon. Our Reed family is about to rise. Laughter erupts. The Reed elders flush red with excitement. Chloe's eyes shine with wonder as she instinctively glances toward the figure in the corner, her look full of contempt and satisfaction. See? This is the power the supreme bone should have. Splat! At the center of the formation, blood suddenly trickles from the corner of Julian's mouth. The golden light dims with it. Something's wrong. Master Julian's body can't withstand the divine bone. The divine power, Grand Elder Marcus shouts urgently. Quick, channel spiritual energy to him. Give Master Julian a hand. The elders don't dare hesitate and rush to assist. With everyone's help, Julian's aura climbs steadily, breaking through bottleneck after bottleneck, finally settling stably at Earth Realm, first level. He did it! Cheers erupt through the hall. Julian slowly opens his eyes, savoring the powerful force flowing through him, ecstatic. He rises to his feet, looking down at the corner from a lofty height, his presence overwhelming. Ethan, do you see this? This is the gap between you and me. You will always be nothing but a stepping stone beneath my feet. And yet, through it all, you never once open your eyes. The chaos of the outside world has nothing to do with you. You are undergoing a transformation billions of times more magnificent than his. In your consciousness space, without a shred of hesitation, you swallow the ninefold foundation pill. It dissolves the moment it touches your lips, turning into warm streams of light that wash through your entire body. There's no gut-wrenching pain, only an ascension rooted in the very core of life itself. A thunderous boom erupts from within you, like the universe splitting apart. Your mortal body is being wildly reshaped by chaos energy. Your meridians widen a billionfold. Your bones take on the color of chaos itself. Your blood turns gold. This is the chaos body, the very first divine physique born when the universe first came into being. Once it forms, no technique can breach it, and it resonates with every law of the cosmos. Compared to a physique this mythic, a mere supreme bone is nothing but a piece of rubble on the ground. On a level no one in the hall can perceive, the laws of heaven and earth themselves seem to cheer for you. 3,000 grand laws manifest across the sky, forming golden lotuses, divine dragons, and celestial figures that circle the Reed estate. But just before these signs become visible, the primordial eyes deep within you turn ever so slightly. Every omen is instantly hidden. Not now. Heaven and earth return to calm. The tallest tree in the forest draws the wind's wrath first. Until you hold absolute power, you have no intention of exposing yourself. At the head seat, family head Damian Reed, silent until now, suddenly furrows his brow. Just a moment ago, his heart inexplicably shuddered, as if some supreme being had just descended. An urge to kneel in reverence, despite being a heaven-piercing realm powerhouse himself. He whips his head around, his gaze landing on the corner. You remain perfectly still, aura completely hidden, as unremarkable as a piece of stone. Was that just my imagination? He shakes his head and pushes the thought aside. By now you have completed the initial stage of the chaos body. You slowly open your eyes. The world looks completely different through them now. You can see spiritual energy flowing through the air, hear a mosquito's wings beating 100 meters away, and even see straight through Julian's body to the severe rejection between the supreme bone and his flesh. Gilded on the outside, rotten within. This is the power of the primordial eyes, combined with the chaos body. The corner of your mouth lifts slightly. You rise slowly, dust yourself off, ignoring the mockery from Julian and the crowd, and walk straight toward the exit. Stop right there. Chloe blocks your path, her face twisted with disgust. From today on, you're cast out of the Reed family's core lineage, demoted to a side branch. Move into a guest room in the West Wing. This is a decision made by me, the elders, and Julian together. She announces your sentence like a verdict, looking down at you from her perceived height. You feel nothing, as if listening to news about a total stranger. You step around her and keep walking outward. That indifferent attitude completely enrages Chloe. Ethan! She shrieks. Do you have no shame left at all? Right now! You're a man without even a bone! What right do you have to stay in the Reed family? Your footsteps pause. You don't turn around. You simply leave behind a single sentence that drains the color from her face. Soon enough, you'll be the one begging me. Without another word, you walk on, your figure vanishing into the sunlight at the hall's entrance. A month passes quickly. The Reed family's annual grand tournament arrives once again. The Marshall Arena is packed with people, the noise deafening. Though none of it concerns you, you simply find a quiet corner, lean against a tree, and let out a lazy yawn. Up on the high viewing platform, all the old figures of the Reed family sit in their seats. Your father, Damian Reed, is among them, but the one who stands out most is Julian, dressed in white. The supreme bone truly is a remarkable thing. In just 1 month, he's nearly broken through to the middle stage of the Emperor realm. That old fool of a Grand Elder has practically put him on a pedestal, granting him the honorary status of Guest Elder, treating him better than his own son. Meanwhile, your sister in name only, Chloe, trails behind him like a little follower, chin held high, basking in everyone's admiring stares. Quite the eyesore. Silence! Grand Elder Marcus rises to his feet, his voice booming like a war drum. The tournament begins. Same rules as always. The final winner enters the martial arts pavilion's third floor and picks a profound grade technique. The moment he finishes, chaos erupts below. Dozens of arenas ring out with clashing blows. Of course, Julian himself won't be competing. He's far too distinguished now to bother with such petty scuffles. You glimpse him seated on the high platform, his gaze sweeping across the crowd, landing on you at last like a blade. He then shoots a look at a hulking, muscular man beside him, a silent signal. The man catches on immediately and leaps onto an arena, knocking out his opponent in a handful of moves, then snatching the referee's amplifying horn. He bellows in your direction. What bad luck. Some people without even a bone still dare show up to this tournament, filthying up this place. His voice booms so loud the entire arena falls silent instantly. The next second, countless eyes stab into you like needles. Mockery, glee at your misfortune, every reaction imaginable. Isn't that Ethan? He still has the nerve to show up? I heard he got demoted to a side branch, cultivation pitifully weak. What's he even doing here? If I were him, I'd have gone into seclusion long ago. On the arena, the man named Brock, seeing you show no reaction, grows even more smug. Ethan, I'm talking about you. Got the guts to come up here and fight me? Don't worry, I'll hold back. You'll only walk away with a few light injuries. Faced with this blatant insult, you don't even bother lifting an eyelid. Trash like this doesn't even deserve a glance from you. Ha! Just as I thought, too scared to accept the challenge. Brock's laughter grows even more arrogant. Up on the platform, Julian smiles with satisfaction. This is exactly the effect he wants, grinding you underfoot, making sure you never rise again. Even Chloe only frowns slightly, then goes back to her indifference, probably thinking you brought this on yourself. But just as everyone assumes you'll stay silent forever, you suddenly move. You rise unhurriedly, completely ignoring Brock's taunts on the arena, and walk straight to another corner, where a side branch boy named Miles watches the arena with envious eyes. The kid trains hard. Unfortunately, he's poor, talentless, and pitifully weak. You walk up to him, and casually pull out a tattered manual from your robe. You toss it to him. Your bones and physique aren't bad. Your technique's just too ordinary. Here, make do with this Thunder Strike Fist manual. Miles fumbles to catch it. He's stunned. Ethan, you're giving this to me? The people around them are equally stunned. The Thunder Strike Fist? Isn't that the most basic, common technique on the first floor of the martial arts pavilion? Ha ha ha, this is hilarious. One weakling with no cultivation to speak of, handing an ordinary technique to another weakling with no cultivation. What kind of show is this? Brock on the arena doubles over laughing. The whole crowd bursts into laughter with him. Miles's face turns liver red with embarrassment, clutching the shabby manual, not knowing what to do. But you pay him no mind. You turn and walk back to the tree, lean against it again, and close your eyes. That's when a voice only you can hear rings out in your mind. Ding! The low-grade yellow-tier Thunderstrike Fist you gifted has been fully accepted. 10,000-fold critical rebound triggered. Congratulations, player. High-grade profound tier, technique acquired. The Sky-Piercing Finger. The Sky-Piercing Finger, 1 finger commands heaven and earth, 2 fingers shatter the stars, 3 fingers annihilate gods and demons. A massive stream of information floods instantly into your mind. You absorb this terrifying finger technique without a flicker of expression. The mockery around you is nothing but the buzzing of a swarm of flies. Up on the platform, the contempt in Julian's eyes deepens. Still putting on that act? He shoots Brock another look, this time laced with killing intent. Brock lets out a savage grin and leaps down from the arena, cracking his knuckles. He strides toward you, unleashing the full pressure of his cultivation onto Ethan. Since you don't dare come up, I'll come down here and drag you up myself. The entire crowd tenses instantly. Everyone waits eagerly for the show. Brock's massive shadow completely engulfs you. He reaches out a hand the size of a fan palm leaf, grinning savagely as he grabs for your collar. Get up! But his hand freezes mid-air because you've opened your eyes. In that instant, the entire world seems to fall silent. Your gaze is calm, like a bottomless ancient well. And yet that very calmness sends a chill straight through Brock, numbness spreading from his scalp down to his heels. He feels like he's not facing a person but an ancient awakened beast. What did you just say? Your voice is soft, yet it lands on his heart like a hammer blow. Brock's teeth chatter. He can't even form a complete sentence. He stammers, he wants to rough you up a little, drag you onto the arena. A cold voice calls down from the platform. It's Julian, trying to goad Brock into action, and curious just what tricks you're really playing. The words do their job. Brock, as if suddenly juiced up, bellows with false bravado. Ethan, stop pulling this act! He forcibly breaks free from the aura pinning him down, steps back twice and points at the nearest arena. If you've got the guts, come up and fight me. Fine, as you wish. Your answer leaves everyone stunned. Under the crowd's shocked, disbelieving stares, you walk calmly, step by step, up onto the arena. Your hands rest behind your back. You don't even bother to take a fighting stance. Ha ha ha, Ethan, you actually dared to come up here and throw your life away. Seeing this, Brock relaxes completely. Watch me knock you off this arena in under 3 moves, he roars, and the stone slabs beneath his feet crack instantly as he charges at you like a cannonball. A fist rockets toward your face, the wind of the punch shrieking, stinging every cheek in the crowd. The onlookers can already picture you getting sent flying. On the high platform, Julian lifts his teacup, confident of victory. But, just as the fist is about to make contact with your face, you move. Or no, perhaps you don't move at all. You simply extend a single finger, your index finger, pale, slender, and lightly, you tap it against the crushing force of Brock's fist. In that instant, time seems to freeze. The raging force of the punch simply vanishes. Brock's savage grin freezes on his face. Crack! A crisp sound of bone snapping echoes across the arena. Then follows a rapid chain of cracks. Crack, 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 starting from his cheekbone, spreading through his wrist, his arm bone, all the way to his shoulder blade, shattering inch by inch. And it isn't over. That unmatched force surges into his body like a landslide, rupturing his internal organs. Splat! Brock's body is hurled backward like a torn sack, blood spraying from his mouth, carving a gruesome arc through the air. Bang! He crashes down more than 10 meters away, twitches twice, and is left with no fighting strength left. One-shot kill. An Earthrealm first-level powerhouse, taken down with a single finger, as effortlessly as brushing off dust. The entire martial arena falls into a deathly silence. On the platform, the teacup slips from Julian's hand and shatters on the floor. Chloe whips her head around, staring at you standing on the arena, completely unbothered, her beautiful eyes filled with an incomprehensible shock. Under the crowd's stunned silence, you slowly withdraw your finger, glancing once at the unconscious man on the ground below. Then you lift your head, your gaze sweeping across Julian on the platform and his group of lackeys. You speak calmly, your voice not loud, yet it detonates like thunder in every ear present. Next, those 2 words land like slaps, striking straight across Julian's face. His expression turns ashen. The lackeys beside him go pale with fear, legs trembling, not one daring to meet your gaze. Useless, the lot of you! Julian grinds the words through clenched teeth, his reason already devoured by jealous rage. All of you, go together and teach him a lesson. If anything happens, I'll take responsibility. The lackeys exchange nervous glances, fear plastered across every face. Brock's fate lies right there in plain sight. Going up there would just mean more injured bodies. What, you dare disobey me too? Julian's aura, Emperor Realm 3rd level, explodes outward, icy killing intent dropping them straight into a pit of ice. They know, if they don't step up today, Julian will make them pay a far worse price. They trade one last look of despair, grit their teeth, and draw their weapons. Ethan, you've harmed your own kin. We're cleaning house for the family. The one in front shouts to steel his own nerve. 4 figures charge in from 4 directions, converging on 4 more coming to throw their lives away, someone mutters below. On the platform, the Reed elders wear complicated expressions, yet none of them intervene. Even your father, Damian Reed, only clenches his fists tight, saying nothing. Only Chloe digs her nails deep into her own palms, realizing she can no longer read you at all. On the arena, facing the 4-way assault, you don't even move the hand resting behind your back. The instant the attackers close in, you take one small step to the left, just one step. Your figure appears, ghost-like, behind a young swordsman among them. Too slow. Your voice sounds right beside his ear, terrifying him out of his wits. Just as he turns, a hand, impossibly light, presses against his back. A muffled thud. The young man doesn't even have time to cry out before he crumples to the ground, unconscious. One strike, decisive. Kill him! A broad-shouldered swordsman charges like a madman, hacking a blade straight at your head. Without even turning your head, you reach back and grab it. Clang. The steel blade, infused with vicious force, is pinned effortlessly between 2 of your fingers. Too weak, you say. You shake your head, twist your fingers ever so slightly. Crack. And the steel blade snaps in 2. You flick a finger, and the broken half of the blade transforms into a streak of cold light, flying back 10 times faster than it came. It grazes past the swordsman's shoulder, leaving a spray of blood behind. He screams and collapses. In the blink of an eye, 2 of the 4 are down. The remaining 2 completely fall apart. Monster! You're a monster! One of them shrieks, throwing his weapon aside, turning to flee. But the moment he turns, a chill hits the back of his neck. You give a casual wave, and a burst of force strikes the back of his neck. His vision goes black and he crumples to the ground. The last one is already too terrified to think, slumped on the ground, pointing at you, babbling incoherently. Don't hit! It was Julian! Julian made us come! Noise! Your brow furrows slightly. Another casual wave, and the man crumples too, unconscious. Complete silence fills the arena. This isn't disdain anymore, it's total domination. Next, your gaze lands once more on the high platform, on the young man in white whose face has turned an unspeakable shade of ugly. The look in your eyes practically asks, Julian, have you run out of people to send yet? Ethan, I'll make you pay for this! Julian completely loses control like a man possessed, unleashing his Emperor Realm third-level pressure to sweep across the arena. Master Julian, calm yourself. Your father, Damian Reed, finally steps in, an even more powerful presence rising up to fully block Julian's pressure. A heaven-piercing realm cultivator. Master Julian, this is Reed family territory. Please show some restraint. His tone carries a clear warning. Grand Elder Marcus quickly steps in to smooth things over, then turns to glare at you. Ethan, you struck far too hard. Apologize to Julian right now. Apologize, you laugh. Grand Elder, which of your eyes saw me strike first? They came up here to provoke me themselves. I was simply defending myself. Or is it Reed family rule that only Julian is allowed to set fires, while Ethan isn't even permitted to light a candle? Marcus is left speechless, his face flushing red. Enough. Your father's cold shout cuts the farce short. The tournament continues. Does anyone else wish to challenge him? The thousands of disciples in the arena fall silent. Challenge you, who would dare? Just then, an ill-timed voice rings out. A tall, strong-jawed young man leaps onto another arena. His fighting spirit blazes as he stares you down. It's Rex Lion of the Lion family, the one they call the Raging Lion. Rex Lion? Why is he here? Rex Lion, the #1 genius of another family from Newstone City, Earth Realm second-level peak. His arrival reignites hope in Julian's eyes. Grand Elder Marcus seizes the moment and loudly announces, for this tournament the final champion will also receive, on top of a profound grade technique, a spot in the Dragon Ascension Secret Realm. The moment Dragon Ascension Secret Realm is announced, the entire arena erupts. Every eye burns with excitement. Ethan, do you dare face me? Rex Lion's battle intent burns even hotter. You glance him over. Earth Realm's second-level peak, a solid foundation, but far too many openings. You curl a finger, beckoning him forward. Come, don't waste my time. Arrogant! Rex Lion roars, charging at you like an enraged lion. The Raging Lion fist, his punch unleashes a massive phantom lion's head, its terrifying power condensing in the wind of his fist. Yet facing this world-shattering strike, you still simply extend one finger, your index finger again. Boom, finger meets fist, and the roaring phantom lion's head vanishes soundlessly, like a popped balloon. Rex Lion's entire body staggers uncontrollably backward more than 10 steps, the sleeve of his right arm shredding into dust, his arm trembling, covered in bloody marks. One move, and the outcome is already clear. Impossible! Rex Lion's face is full of disbelief. Is this all the power you have? You haven't moved an inch from where you stand. Disappointing. Again. Rex Lion, thoroughly enraged, blurs into an afterimage. He charges again. This time, you don't use your finger, you raise your foot. A light kick, slow-looking, yet it lands first despite moving last, landing precisely on the one weak point in the trajectory of his charge. Bang. Rex Lion tumbles across the arena like a rolling gourd, from one end to the other, utterly disgraced. Third move. Your voice sounds like a death sentence. You walk slowly toward him, looking down from above. He struggles wildly to rise, but your foot pins him down by the chest. Before he can even get a word out, you add slight pressure with your foot. Crack! The sound of a fractured ribcage rings out clearly. He coughs up a mouthful of blood and passes out on the spot. You withdraw your foot, sweep your gaze across the arena, and finally settle it on Grand Elder Marcus, on that face twisted with shock and fury. The tournament's over. The technique and the secret realm spot are both mine. Right? 3 days later, at the outskirts of the Hidden Dragon Mountains. For you, the so-called elites gathered here from Bluestone City's 3 great families are nothing but a flock of chirping sparrows. You lean alone against an ancient tree, eyes closed, resting, not bothering to notice anyone's stares. Ever since your stunning display at the tournament, the expressions on the faces of the Reed family have become quite entertaining. No one dares provoke you openly anymore. Yet no one dares approach either. They fear and reject you in equal measure. The cultivation resources the elders sent your way, you didn't even let them through the door. You've come here purely to settle a score and take back along the way what's rightfully yours. Julian, look at him. Such an insufferable face. Chloe's voice isn't loud, but it carries clearly. You don't even bother lifting an eyelid. Meanwhile, Julian soothes her with a gentle smile, but the flash of killing intent behind his eyes doesn't escape your perception at all. These past 3 days he's probably barely slept. You can't wrap your head around it, can't accept it. No matter. There's plenty more coming that you'll find even harder to understand, even harder to accept. You'd already noticed Julian exchanging suggestive glances with a middle-aged man in the crowd, dressed in the robes of the Azure Sun sect. A clear sign that Julian has already arranged some surprise for you inside the secret realm. Just then, the crimson mist ahead surges violently, tearing open a pitch-black rift. The entrance to the secret realm has opened. At the elder's command, the impatient young disciples flood in like dumplings dropped into boiling water. Julian, pulling Chloe along, is among the first to vanish into the rift. Only then do you open your eyes and rise unhurried. You saunter along at the very back of the group. After a dizzying spin of space, you find yourself teleported into a stretch of primal jungle. The spiritual energy in the air is so thick it feels like it could condense into water. It's more than 10 times denser than outside. Not a bad place. You take a deep breath and the chaos body starts running on its own, silently devouring the surrounding energy. But you're in no rush to hunt for treasure. The primordial eyes activate. And the world before you instantly transforms. The true nature of everything, every law of fortune appears before your eyes as lines and points of light. Your gaze pierces effortlessly through every obstacle, quickly locking onto a thread of fortune, dazzling yet somehow hollow, a golden line whose end leads straight to Julian. Name Julian. Recent fortune, 300 li northwest of the Dragon Ascension secret realm. He'll discover the legacy cave of the ancient sword cultivator, the Star Sword Sovereign. Star Sword Sovereign scouting the way for me. Good enough. The corner of your mouth curls up. You lock in the direction and stroll over unhurriedly. Along the way, century-old spirit herbs that others would kill for don't even earn you a glance. You have only one target, Julian. Why be a diligent treasure-hunting rat yourself when you can just follow the chosen one, a walking automatic treasure detector? Far easier this way. Elsewhere, Julian anxiously pulls Chloe along, rushing through the valley. Julian, where exactly are we going? Don't talk, just follow me. Julian is visibly impatient. Soon they arrive at a cliff face hidden behind a waterfall, and stop. This is it. Julian pushes the curtain of water aside, staring at the dense protective formation around the cave entrance, a confident smile spreading across his face. Chloe, step back, watch me break through this. With that, he pulls out spiritual energy and, sweating profusely, begins dismantling the formation. Of course, he has no idea that 100 meters away, up in a tree, you're watching his little show with quiet amusement. To your eyes, this formation is riddled with holes, no better than a child's scribbles. You could think of a dozen ways to get in instantly, but you don't. Free labor is free labor. Why not make use of it? You even casually pull a piece of fruit from your robe, plucked from somewhere along the way, and take a bite. Pretty sweet. An hour later, boom. As Julian strikes the final layer of the protective formation, the light finally fades. Boom. Finally broken. Julian wipes the sweat from his brow, his face flushed with elation, ready to claim credit in front of Chloe, only to find her staring, terrified, at something behind him. Julian, be careful! His heart lurches. He whips around, and there you are, one hand holding a half-eaten fruit, leaning against the cave entrance, wearing an innocent smile. Well done. You give the fruit in your hand a little shake. Perfect timing on that door, you say lazily. Julian's mind goes utterly blank. Ethan, he forces out through gritted teeth, his eyes bloodshot. Well done. Those two words feel like two red-hot needles, driving straight into his heart. He drained his spiritual power, used up his precious hoarded energy, and ended up as nothing but free labor to open your door for you. Ethan, this is too much. Julian worked so hard to break this formation, and you just want to enjoy the fruits of his labor? Chloe steps in front of Julian, glaring at you in anger. You swallow the last bite of fruit, flick the core away, and stroll into the cave like you're wandering through your own backyard, paying no attention to their shouting whatsoever. You walk straight to the stone platform at the center of the cave, where an ancient, unadorned sword rests, alongside a manual bound in animal hide. The Falling Star Sword Manual, a high-grade Earth-tier technique. Julian's breath catches. Greed instantly overtakes his anger. Ethan, I suggest you walk out right now, or don't blame me for forgetting our past ties. He puts on a show of bravado, standing guard before the stone platform, trying to scare you off with words. Yet you don't spare a single glance. You reach out and pick up the Falling Star Sword Manual, flipping through a couple pages idly. Tisk. Full of holes, flashy, but hollow. Master it fully, and all you'd get is a few ordinary threads of star power. You shake your head and toss the manual, the one he treasures like his life, back onto the stone platform as if it were trash. Something like this is worth all this screaming? The words leave Julian shaking with rage. What do you know? You, who can't even condense spiritual energy, you think you're qualified to judge a sword manual? His fury boils over into a laugh. You give him a nod in return, an expression of complete agreement. You're right, I really shouldn't be judging the quality of some ordinary technique. You suddenly turn to look at him, flashing a brilliant smile. Since you seem to love this manual so much, here, consider it my gift to you. My gift to you. Those words strike like thunder from the ninth heaven, scorching Julian and Chloe both, inside and out. An insult. A raw, unparalleled insult. Julian would rather you fought him head-on and stole the manual by force than accept this kind of charity. But the instant those words leave your mouth, ding. The high-grade Earth-tier technique you gifted, the Falling Star Sword Manual, has been implicitly accepted. 10,000-fold critical rebound triggered. Congratulations, player. High-grade Heaven-tier movement technique acquired, the Nine Heavens Wind Step. An unparalleled flood of information instantly pours into your mind. You barely shift your body where you stand, and yet you've already reappeared at the cave entrance. So fast it's as if you never moved at all. What? Julian stares at the manual on the stone platform, completely dumbfounded. You don't look back, you simply lift a hand and give it a casual wave. Ordinary things belong with ordinary people. You two make quite the pair. The moment you finish, your figure has already vanished, leaving only that gutting remark echoing through the cave, shattering whatever composure Julian and Chloe had left. You leave the so-called Sword Sovereign's cave without a moment's pause. The primordial eyes have already mapped out this secret realm for you, pinpointing its true core. What Julian found was nothing but an appetizer. You immediately activate the 9 heavens wind step you've just gained. One step, and your figure is already 100 meters away, the scenery around you racing backward in a blur, dissolving into streaks of light. In less time than it takes an incense stick to burn, you've crossed over 100 li of jungle, arriving at the entrance to a vast valley shrouded in blood-red mist. You part the mist and step inside. The sight before you raises even your eyebrows slightly. At the center of the valley lies a massive blood pool, but what flows through it isn't red blood at all but a brilliant gold like molten metal, radiating world-ending power. Above the pool's surface, a phantom of a true dragon, hundreds of feet long, has even condensed into being. The heart's blood essence of an ancient true dragon, now that's the real deal. Beside the pool, a colossal beast, its body the size of a small hill, shaped like a quillin, lies sound asleep. Heaven-piercing realm peak, a guardian beast, the black spirit beast. Just as you're taking in this treasure ground, 2 battered figures come stumbling into the valley from the other side. It's Julian and Chloe. After taking the sword manual, Julian raced straight here from memory without pause. This true dragon blood pool was always his real target for this trip. Finally, Julian's eyes blaze with a fervor unlike anything before, staring at the golden pool. But the moment he spots the sleeping black spirit beast, his face turns unspeakably grim. Damn it. Why hasn't this creature left yet? In his past life, he remembers this guardian beast being out hunting for food at this exact time. Julian, what is that thing? Chloe's face pales with fear. Don't be scared. Julian forces himself to calm down. Watch. I'll slip around it, grab the dragon's blood, and leave. He masks his presence and creeps silently toward the pool. But just as he's about 100 meters from the pool, the sleeping black spirit beast suddenly snaps open its blood-red eyes and lets loose a sky-shattering roar, its terrifying sound waves crystallizing into a physical shockwave that sweeps outward. Julian is struck as if by lightning, his whole body sent flying, coughing up a mouthful of blood mid-air before crashing down dozens of meters away. He struggles to rise, only to find his internal organs are all displaced. A deadly shadow falls over the two of them instantly. But right at this critical moment, an unbothered voice drifts in from the other side of the valley. What's got you two so worked up? Julian and Chloe whip around in shock. To see you, no one knows when you arrived, already standing at the valley's entrance, looking at them with an easy, relaxed expression. The black spirit beast also turns its massive head, its savage gaze locking onto you instantly. It opens its blood-red maw, about to roar again. But you don't flinch, don't dodge, you simply walk toward its glare, one calm, unhurried step at a time. In this moment, you release your presence without holding anything back. It isn't spiritual power, it's something that comes from the very depths of your bloodline, a supreme pressure, the aura of the chaos body. In an instant, the wind stops, the clouds part. The black spirit beast's roar, already halfway out, freezes dead in its throat. In its savage eyes, confusion flickers first, then shock, and finally it settles into unmatched fear and submission. It's an absolute dominance, operating at the level of life itself. Before the disbelieving stares of Julian and Chloe, as if they've seen a ghost, thud. The once mighty heaven-piercing realm peak beast drops its colossal body flat onto the ground, bowing in complete submission, burying its massive head deep into the dirt, its whole frame trembling violently with fear. You walk up to it, reach out your hand and pat its head like calming a puppy. Good boy. Then, without even glancing at the two who've turned completely to stone, you walk straight toward the true dragon blood pool. The black spirit beast rises obediently, trailing at your heels, and finally settles down docilely at the edge of the pool, its enormous body blocking the way, eyes fixed warily on Julian, looking every bit like a loyal guardian deity. With a splash, you step into the golden blood pool. The moment the wild, violent dragon's essence blood touches your body, it turns astonishingly gentle, like a young swallow returning home, pouring wildly into every limb, every bone. Chaos body, source of all laws, ancestor of all physiques. You sit cross-legged at the center of the pool, close your eyes, and your body becomes a bottomless void, ravenously devouring the vast energy within the pool. The strength of your physical body surges upward at an incomprehensible speed. On the other side of the valley, Julian sits dazed on the ground, his eyes vacant. Everything unfolding before him has utterly shattered his understanding of the world, crushing his mind entirely. His rebirth, his foreknowledge, in front of you, they've become an absolute, complete joke. This can't be real. It has to be an illusion. Yes, an illusion. Julian, looking like a man possessed, clutches his head, screaming madly. Every hope he'd painstakingly schemed for, every chance to turn the tables, has been mercilessly crushed by you, in the most effortless, most brutal way possible. Splat. He coughs up a wild spray of blood. The identity he was so proud of, the chosen one, shatters completely in this very moment. Julian, don't be like this. Chloe snaps back to herself, face full of worry. Get away. Julian shoves her violently aside, his eyes blood-red, face twisted with rage as he roars. It's all your fault. The Reed families, if you hadn't taken his flesh and bone in the first place. None of this would have happened today. It's all your fault. Chloe freezes at the outburst, the color completely draining from her face. She stares at the man before her, twisted with rage, lashing out at everyone but himself, feeling like she doesn't know him at all. Her gaze drifts, unbidden, toward the calm figure sitting in the distant blood pool. A thought surfaces in her mind without warning. Maybe taking that bone all those months ago really was our mistake. Just then, the entire secret realm begins to shake violently. An irresistible pull takes hold of you and everyone else. The next moment, the stars shift and the world turns. Outside the hidden Dragon Mountains, one figure after another is flung out from the spatial rift, each one battered and disheveled. Reed family Grand Elder Marcus, seeing the dazed, hollow-eyed Chloe and Julian with torn robes and a broken aura, is struck with alarm. What happened here? Julian doesn't answer. He simply stares fixedly at the spatial rift as it prepares to close, his eyes filled with venomous hatred. And just as the rift is about to vanish entirely, you step out of it, unhurried, at the very last moment. Right now, your skin gleams like polished jade, treasured light flowing across it, your every breath resonating with heaven and earth itself. You simply stand there quietly, yet you become the focal point of everyone's attention, utterly transformed. Chloe looks at you, radiant with confidence, then glances at Julian beside her, his composure completely shattered. The contrast is stark. The seed of doubt planted in her heart finally breaks through the soil and sprouts. Ethan. Julian, seeing you, can no longer hold back the boiling killing intent and jealousy inside him. He lets out a furious roar, drawing his spirit sword, Star Chaser, and turning into a streak of light, charging recklessly straight at you, sword aimed to kill. You will pay for this. This single strike gathers every last drop of his spiritual power. Master Julian, stop! Marcus and the others are struck with alarm, but it's already too late to intervene. The blade's fierce edge is about to plunge straight into your forehead, and yet you don't even lift an eyelid. You simply extend 2 fingers, lightly. Ding! A crisp, almost imperceptible sound somehow carries clearly through the chaotic noise, reaching every ear present. Time seems to press slow motion in this very instant. Under everyone's horrified stares, Julian's sword, infused with every ounce of his spiritual power, its sword chi surging fiercely, Star Chaser, comes to rest, with exact precision, against the 2 fingers that appear so pale and delicate. There's no earth-shattering explosion of power, no terrifying surge of energy waves. That razor-sharp tip, capable of piercing metal and stone alike, simply stops there, not moving an inch. No. Impossible. Julian's face twists in horror. The veins on both his arms bulge as he wrings out every last thread of spiritual power in his body, desperately trying to push the blade forward even a fraction. Yet those 2 fingers remain like an ancient, insurmountable mountain god, rendering every last effort of his utterly futile. You don't even spare him a glance. You simply twist the 2 fingers, pinning the blade's tip ever so slightly. Crack! An even crisper sound than before rings out. The sword Julian had been so proud of, Star Chaser, taken straight from the sword's sovereign's cave, suddenly reveals a fine, hairline crack across its blade. The crack then spreads instantly, like a spider's web, across the entire length of the blade. Bang! The sword shatters on the spot, splintering into countless fragments that scatter in every direction. Julian, as if struck by a heavy blow, staggers backwards 7 or 8 steps, each step leaving a deep imprint on the hard ground beneath him, before he finally collapses backward onto the ground, blood spurting once more from his wound. He stares blankly at his hand, now holding nothing but a bare, bladeless hilt, then glances at you, empty-handed, not even a wrinkle in your robes, and his mind goes completely blank. His sword is destroyed, the trump card he'd counted on to turn everything around simply gone. A hollow, broken laugh rasps from Julian's throat. He tries to say something, only to find he can't string together a single complete sentence. Fear, a fear unlike anything he's ever felt, floods through him like an icy tide, drowning out the last shred of his reason. You finally lower your eyes, glancing at him casually. There's no mockery in that look, no contempt, only pure, absolute indifference, the way a person wastes no emotion on an ant crawling beneath their feet. Noise. You breathe out those 2 words lightly, then flick a finger. An invisible burst of force, released last yet arriving first, strikes Julian's chest with pinpoint precision. Splat. Julian's body flies backward like a torn sack, slamming hard into a rock more than 10 meters away, shattering the boulder into pieces, while he himself lies crumpled among the rubble, every bone in his body broken, unable to rise again. You never even had the right to make me throw a punch. The quiet words drift away on the wind. Total, deathly silence falls over the crowd. Everyone is left utterly stunned by this scene, one that feels like nothing short of a miracle. Crushing weapons barehanded, wounding an Emperor Realm cultivator with a single flick of a finger, is this really the kind of power a boy not even 20 years old should possess? Damian Reed, and the other Reed family elders, feel their scalps prickle with unease. Their hands and feet turn cold. They stare at the figure standing at the center of the arena, still as a hawk poised beneath the moon. What rises in their hearts is no longer shock, but deep awe and dread. They finally understand. The Reed family may have truly produced an extraordinary powerhouse. Julian! Chloe lets out a shriek, her face draining of color as she rushes to Julian's side. But the moment she sees his wretched state, she can't help stepping half a pace back. Julian's hair hangs in disarray, his body caked in blood, every trace of his former grace gone. His eyes are blood red, fixed on you with a savage, animal-like snarl. You're a monster. What kind of sorcery did you use? Why? Why is this happening? I'm the chosen one. I'm the protagonist of this world. He looks half mad, words spilling out incoherently, not a shred of reason left. Chloe watches him in this state, a chill spreading through her chest. The Julian she remembers, confident, gentle, always in control of everything, seems to have died completely in this very moment. In his place stands a man who can't handle losing, a lunatic screaming hysterically. Her faith in him collapses in an instant. Right then, Steward Cole of the Azure Sun sect, an executor who's long served the outer sect, his expression shifting several times before he finally moves. In a flash, he appears beside Julian, hauling him up out of the rubble. Julian, we can't stay here. Let's head back to the sect. Cole makes the call instantly. He understands deeply. This wild variable you represent is far beyond his ability to handle. Everything that's happened here must be reported to the sect at once. I'm not leaving. I'll make him pay. Julian keeps thrashing wildly. Enough! Cole snaps, driving a burst of spiritual energy into Julian's body, temporarily suppressing his wounds and his chaotic energy flow. He glances at you warily, holding back any further threats. And carrying the badly wounded Julian, streaks away without a backward glance toward the Azure Sun sect, racing off. Ethan, you wait for me! If I, Julian, don't tear you limb from limb, I'll disown my own humanity! A venomous roar echoes from far off in the sky, lingering long after. You pay it no mind. You turn toward the utterly stunned Reed clansman. Wherever you walk, the crowd instinctively parts to clear a path. Everyone lowers their heads without meaning to, not daring to meet your gaze. You finally come to a stop before family head Damien Reed, your tone flat. Father, I'm tired. I want to rest. Of course. I'll send someone right away. To prepare you the finest quarters and cultivation resources. Damien snaps out of his daze, scrambling to respond. You shake your head. No need. With that, you walk straight through the crowd, heading toward your own run-down little courtyard, leaving behind a whole clan of Reed family members whose expressions are more conflicted than words can describe. The Azure Sun sect sits atop the Azure Sun Mountains, 100 li beyond Bluestone City. Spiritual mists swirling, cranes soaring overhead. Inside the outer sect's executor hall, a battered figure stumbles in, half-crawling, and drops to his knees on the floor with a heavy thud, right before an elder in gray robes, meditating with eyes closed. Elder Thorn, save me. You have to make this right for your disciple. It's Julian, tears and snot streaming down his face, not a trace left of his once brilliant bearing. The gray-robed elder slowly opens his eyes, a flicker of gold light passing across them. He looks at Julian's wretched state, brow furrowing deeply. Julian, what's got you in such a panic? This is Elder Thorn, the most powerful figure in the sect's outer branch, a core formation realm master and the one who's always thought most highly of Julian, intending to take him as his personal disciple. Elder, Julian sobs out. In the Dragon Ascension secret realm, I found an incredible opportunity for the sect, but that man from the Reed family, Ethan, cut in and ruined everything. Not only did he steal my chance, he used some bizarre technique to gravely wound me. From here, he downplays the truth and embellishes freely, twisting everything that happened in the secret realm into nothing but Ethan's crimes. He even declared that in his eyes, our Azure Sun sect is nothing but chickens and dogs. He said one day he'll trample the Azure Sun Mountains flat, and that you wouldn't even be fit to carry his shoes. What? Elder Thorn flares with fury on hearing this, a terrifying aura exploding from his body, every table and chair in the executor hall shattering to dust in an instant. That whelp dares insult the Azure Sun sect like this? He hauls Julian to his feet, pouring vast amounts of spiritual power into him. Julian's injuries heal at a speed visible to the naked eye. Tell me in detail, what exactly is so strange about this Ethan? Elder Thorn's voice is ice cold. A flicker of vicious triumph crosses Julian's eyes. He knows his gamble has paid off. Ethan, your time has come. 3 days later, at the Reed family estate in Bluestone City, the mood across the entire Reed family has been unusually tense and unsettling these past few days. The terrifying power you displayed that day has completely shattered everyone's understanding. Klansmen who once looked down on you now go out of their way to avoid crossing your path, terrified of angering someone this powerful. Grand Elder Marcus has visited your courtyard for days straight, bringing rare treasures to try to mend relations, yet hasn't even made it through your door. Family head Damien has locked himself away in his study, and no one knows what's on his mind. The entire city of Bluestone, because of you, has settled into an uneasy stillness, the calm before a storm. Everyone knows the Azure Sun sect will never simply let this go. This afternoon, the cloudless sky abruptly darkens. A terrifying pressure, far beyond anything the heaven-piercing realm could produce, descends from above, blanketing the entire city as if the sky itself were caving in. Countless low-level cultivators within the city, under this crushing pressure, drop to their knees, legs giving out, hearts seized with terror. Inside the Reed estate, panic spreads through everyone. Damien and the elders rush out of the main hall looking up at the sky, every face etched with horror. High above the Reed estate, an old man in gray robes stands with hands folded behind his back, riding the wind through empty air. His eyes, like two bolts of cold lightning, look down on the crowd below as if they were ants. The aura radiating from him warps the very space around him. Core formation realm. Where is the Reed family head, Damien? Come out and face me. His cold voice, like a decree from the highest heavens, rings out across the land with undeniable authority. Damien's heart lurches. Steeling himself, he leaps into the air, bowing deeply toward the gray-robed elder from a distance. Damien Reed greets Elder Thorn of the Azure Sun sect. What brings you here, Elder? What are your instructions? His posture is exceedingly humble. Before a core formation realm powerhouse, he, the Reed family head, a so-called heaven-piercing realm expert, barely registers at all. Elder Thorn doesn't even look at him directly, simply scoffing. Spare me the pleasantries. Hand over that little wretch from your family, Ethan, to this elder, or after today the Reed family will cease to exist in Bluestone City. The moment he says this, the entire Reed household falls silent, despair washing over every face. Annihilation. This Azure Sun elder opens with nothing less than a threat to wipe the family out entirely. Damien's face turns ghostly pale. He hurries to explain. Elder Thorn, might there be some misunderstanding here? My son Ethan is willful, but... Misunderstanding? Elder Thorn cuts him off flatly, his voice thick with killing intent. He stole an opportunity meant for my sect's disciple, practiced some bizarre technique, and insulted both me and the entire Azure Sun sect. Tell me, is that a misunderstanding? Damien's heart sinks completely. He knows there's no room to negotiate today. Either hand over Ethan and save the family, or let the whole family die for the sake of one son. The choice isn't difficult at all. He turns around, his conflicted gaze drifting toward the back courtyard, just about to speak, when a calm voice drifts up from below. Who's making all this racket outside? The moment the words land, a figure steps slowly out of the rundown courtyard. It's you, dressed in black, your expression indifferent, as though this crisis, one severe enough to destroy the entire family, is nothing more than a passing breeze to you. Little wretch, you're courting death. Elder Thorn's eyes flare with killing intent the moment he sees you, and he raises a hand to strike. Wait. You raise a hand, halting him. You pay no attention to Elder Thorn overhead. Instead, you walk over to Damien, his face ashen. Father, you look pretty shaken. Damien's lips move, but no words come out. You give a small smile, reaching into your storage ring and pulling out a plain little bronze shield, handing it over casually. This low-grade Earth-tier protective treasure, the Tortoise Shield, it's a bit plain, but it should be able to save you at a critical moment. Consider it rent, for all these years you let me live at the Reed estate. Damien freezes. Every Reed clansman freezes with him, completely unable to make sense of your behavior. With an enemy at the gates at a moment like this, not a single thought toward the crisis, and here you are handing out treasures, and a low-tier one at that? Damien, as if compelled by some unseen force, accepts the little bronze shield, and the instant he takes it, the system's chime sounds in your mind. Ding! The low-grade Earth-tier treasure you gifted, the Tortoise Shield, has been accepted. 10,000-fold critical rebound triggered. Congratulations, player. High-grade Heaven-tier armor acquired. The Undying Dragon armor. Before the chime even finishes, a blinding golden light erupts violently from your body. Under everyone's stunned, jaw-dropped stares, a magnificent suit of armor, forged entirely from dark golden dragon scales, coiled with the phantom forms of 9 divine dragons, wraps itself around your entire body in an instant. A pressure far older than Elder Thorn's own, far more noble, far more overwhelming, radiates outward from the armor. Huh! The condescending expression on Elder Thorn's face freezes instantly, replaced by unparalleled shock and greed. That aura can only belong to a heaven-tier treasure. Clad in the Undying Dragon armor, you rise into the air, facing Elder Thorn from across the sky. The terrifying core formation realm pressure he exerts on you sinks without a trace, like a stone into water, not stirring a ripple. You stretch your limbs slightly, savoring the immense power the armor grants you, then finally lift your head, looking Elder Thorn in the eye for the first time. Your voice is flat, yet carries a judgment that strikes straight at the soul. Are you qualified to judge me? Elder Thorn's face turns liver red instantly. He, the great Outer Sect Grand Elder of the Azure Sun sect, a core formation realm powerhouse. Wherever he goes, isn't he always worshipped and revered? Today he's being questioned by some wet-behind-the-ears brat in front of the entire city of Bluestone about whether he has the right to judge. What humiliation. Sharp tongue for a runt. You think one piece of armor lets you act this arrogant in front of this elder? Elder Thorn's fury turns into laughter, greed thickening in his eyes. A heaven-tier treasure like this, not even he possesses one, let alone the Azure Sun sect's own leader. If he can defeat you, this armor, along with all your secrets, will all belong to him. This elder will crack that armor of yours first, then cripple your cultivation and see just what kind of freak you really are. Before he even finishes speaking, Elder Thorn moves, fingers forming a blade. He slashes toward you from a distance. Skyrending slash, a blue sword chi, hundreds of feet long, materializes out of nothing, carrying enough force to rend the heavens as it crashes down toward your head. Wherever the sword chai passes, the air beneath it is sucked completely dry, leaving a visible vacuum trail. Several buildings in the Reed estate collapse into rubble in the shockwave. This is the full power strike of a core formation powerhouse, world-shattering in scale. "My lord, watch out!" Damien below cries out in horror, his voice cracking. Every member of the Reed clan squeezes their eyes shut, unable to bear watching the bloodbath they assume is coming. And yet, facing this world-shattering strike, your response is calm enough to chill the bone. You don't even entertain the thought of dodging, simply hovering quietly in the air, letting the sword chi, powerful enough to cleave mountains, crash down full force onto you. Boom! A deafening explosion rings out across all of Bluestone City. A storm of energy rages violently where you stand, shredding the clouds overhead to pieces. On Elder Thorn's face spreads a cruel, satisfied smile. He doesn't believe anyone alive can take a hit like that with their bare flesh. This strike is strong enough that even a heaven-tier suit of armor would suffer severe damage to its spiritual core. But when the smoke and dust clear, the smile on his face freezes completely. There, floating in mid-air, still stands the figure in dark golden armor, completely unharmed. Not even the armor bears the faintest mark, not a single scratch. "What?" Elder Thorn's eyes nearly bulge out of their sockets. "That was your full power strike?" You lift a hand, brushing off dust that isn't even there on your shoulder, your tone carrying obvious disappointment. "Too weak, not even enough to give me an itch." Elder Thorn trembles with fury, refusing to accept the reality in front of him. "Impossible!" This elder refuses to believe it. He roars, spiritual energy churning wildly through his body, hands forming seals, preparing to unleash an even more devastating technique. But you have no intention of giving him another chance. "This game's over," you murmur softly, activating the Nine Heavens wind step, leaving an afterimage in place as you vanish instantly. "Where?" Elder Thorn's pupils constrict sharply, his spiritual sense sweeping wildly in every direction, unable to catch even a trace of you. The next instant, a flat, ghost-like voice speaks right beside his ear. "Looking for me?" Elder Thorn's blood runs cold. Without a moment's thought, he strikes backward with a palm, but hits nothing but another afterimage. Meanwhile, your figure has already appeared 100 meters behind him, the primordial eyes activating. In your sight, the seemingly flawless flow of spiritual power throughout Elder Thorn's body is riddled, in truth, with countless flaws, every one of them a fatal opening. It's over. You slowly raise your right hand, extending your index finger. In an instant, the wind halts, the clouds part, and an indescribable aura, ancient, primeval, desolate, and dominating, capable of imprisoning everything, sweeps outward from you, engulfing the entire sky and land. In this moment, whether it's the Reed clansmen below, or every living being in Bluestone City, everyone feels as if their very soul has been seized by an invisible hand, breathing itself becoming a luxury. Elder Thorn, up in the sky, feels as if he's plunged into an abyss of ice. He discovers, horrified, that he's been completely locked in place by some mysterious force. The space around him has become as rigid as solid iron, and he can't even move a single finger. All he can do is watch, helpless, as that ordinary-looking finger slowly closes in on him. The sky-piercing finger. One finger seeks the heavens, another honors the earth. Elder Thorn's eyes finally show endless terror and regret, letting out the final, unyielding roar of his life. That finger seems slow, yet it crosses the distance of space itself, bypassing every last one of his defenses, tapping lightly against his dantian. A soft snap. The aura surrounding Elder Thorn bursts like a popped balloon, pouring out of him instantly. He looks down in disbelief at the dull, lightless wound on his abdomen. The cultivation he'd taken such pride in is draining away wildly, his life force cut off. "Unwilling," he mutters, finishing his last words, and his body drops from midair, limp, with a heavy thud, slamming into the center of the Reed Estate's arena and gouging out a massive crater. Elder Thorn, Grand Elder of the Azure Sun Sect's outer branch, core formation realm powerhouse, dead. The entire city falls into stillness. Everyone who witnesses this feels their entire worldview shatter, crushed to dust. You retract your finger, slowly descending from the sky, glancing once at the lifeless body on the ground, brow furrowing slightly. Too noisy. With that, you turn to head back to your courtyard. But just then, a jade pendant tucked into Elder Thorn's robes, engraved with the words, Azure Sun, suddenly shatters. A spiritual will carrying boundless fury and authority erupts skyward, forming in midair into an immense, commanding human face. Its gaze locks onto you instantly, a thunderous roar echoing across the entire sky of Bluestone City. "Who dares kill my Azure Sun Elder?" That massive face, condensed from pure willpower, hangs suspended in the sky, its commanding features twisted with fury. The thunderous demand echoes over Bluestone City like the wrath of a god, pressing down on the entire city until people can barely breathe. "Who dares kill my Azure Sun Elder?" Damien and the others turn deathly pale, their bodies swaying on the verge of collapse. This projection of will, though it carries no true physical force, contains a will far more terrifying than Elder Thorn himself was. 100 times over. It's the spiritual projection of Sect Master Alistair Vane, a true late-stage core formation realm powerhouse. Facing a demand from a being like this, the sheer pressure alone is enough to shatter the will of any heaven-piercing realm cultivator. And yet, you simply lift your head slowly. You study the massive face hovering in the sky, the way one might look at an amusing toy. Noise. You breathe out the word lightly, then form your fingers into a blade, slashing casually at that massive face. There's no earth-shattering surge of energy, no dazzling technique, just that simple, effortless slash. A faint tearing sound, like fabric ripping, echoes out. High above, that towering, arrogant, commanding face suddenly splits open with a black crack right between its brows. The crack spreads rapidly, covering the entire face within seconds. The furious expression on Alistair Vane's face freezes in place, replaced by an unmistakable look of disbelief. The projection of will shatters on the spot, breaking into countless points of light, dissolving into nothing. Heaven and earth return to stillness once more, as though the world-shattering pressure, that godlike interrogation, had all been an illusion. Bluestone City falls into a stillness even deeper than before. If killing Elderthorn with a single fingertip shattered their understanding of what was possible, then this casual slash, which just erased the Sectmaster's spiritual projection, has utterly demolished their ability to comprehend it all. Is this power a mortal can even possess? Having done all this, you act as though you've merely swatted away a speck of dust. You lower your hand and never look up again. Your gaze sweeps past the stunned, statue-still Reed clansman, finally landing on the figure pinned by Chloe's sword tip, collapsed on the ground. It's Julian. He shakes uncontrollably like a leaf in a storm. His final hope, his last card to play, the Azure Sun sect, has turned out to be nothing more than paper-thin before you, collapsing at the slightest touch. Terror has completely consumed his mind. You walk toward him slowly, step by step, looking down at him from above. Still struggling, Chosen One? Your voice is quiet, yet it lands like a hammer blow straight to Julian's chest. No! No! Who are you? What exactly are you? Julian babbles incoherently, dragging his body backward, desperate to put distance between himself and the man who's become his endless nightmare. You don't dignify his foolish question with an answer. Your gaze shifts to the side, to the tear-streaked face of Chloe, sword hand trembling violently. Chloe? Your voice remains just as flat. Do you still think I was the one in the wrong? Chloe's whole body shudders, and she jerks her head up, her tear-stained face filled with confusion and pain, trying to speak but not knowing where to even begin. You're pitifully foolish. Your voice carries no emotion at all. You thought he came to you because he liked you? You thought when he stood up for you, guided your cultivation, it meant he cared about you sincerely? Chloe's face grows paler by the moment. The first time he ever met you, all he wanted was that bone inside you, the one that never belonged to you. The words cut like the sharpest blade, stripping away the veneer of false warmth to reveal the bloody truth beneath. He knew the secret of the hidden Dragon Mountains realm and told no one else. He only brought you along. You thought that was favoritism. He simply needed someone who knew the Reed family, who could give him access, and who could serve as a shield whenever he seized opportunities for himself. In the Sword Sovereign's cave, he took every last piece of the legacy without hesitation. Did he spare you a single thought? Facing the black spirit beast at the true dragon blood pool, his first instinct was to save himself, leaving you to fend for yourself. You thought that made him a hero? And when every one of his schemes crumbled to nothing in front of me, how did he scream at you? He said it was all your Reed family's fault. He blamed every single one of his failures on you, on your entire family. Every single word out of you lands like a sharp slap, striking hard across Chloe's face, and even harder against her heart. Scene after scene replays in her mind at lightning speed. Julian's gentle refinement, Julian shielding her at personal cost, Julian's solemn, heartfelt promises. Against the backdrop of your words, all those cherished memories twist instantly into something grotesque and laughable. She remembers the flash of greed in Julian's eyes whenever he looked at her. She remembers the twisted, resentful expression on his face at the blood pool. She remembers the crazed way he screamed, blaming the Reed family for everything after being defeated by you. So it was all fake, every bit of it. The so-called affection, the so-called protection, nothing but a con from beginning to end. He never cared about Chloe as a person. All he ever wanted was the supreme bone inside her and the advantages her status as a Reed family daughter could give him. From beginning to end, she was nothing but a pathetic, laughable tool he'd used and discarded. No, that's not right. Julian, tell me what he's saying isn't true. Chloe breaks down completely. She turns to look at Julian with one last flicker of hope, desperate to hear even a single word of denial from his mouth. But Julian is already consumed entirely by fear and despair. Under your all-seeing gaze, every last one of his disguises has been ripped apart. He simply cowers, muttering over and over, "You're a monster. You're a monster." This is as good as confirming everything. Chloe can't withstand the blow any longer. She coughs up a mouthful of blood, staining the front of her robe, looking at the man she once idolized without limit, the man she was even willing to give everything for. The last spark in her eyes extinguishes entirely. What replaces it is endless regret and cold, burning fury. Regret at her own blindness, at inviting a wolf into the house, at harming her family, and worse still, at harming the brother she should have always cherished. A shrill, twisted laugh escapes Julian's throat. Her sword no longer hesitates for even a moment, the blade humming with resonance, carrying the most intense rage and resolve of her life as she drives it straight for Julian's throat. Facing the strike from Chloe, one soaked in regret and fury, Julian, already broken in mind, unleashes a fierce primal will to survive. "No! You can't kill me!" He lets out a beastly roar, and at the location of his heart, a dazzling burst of golden light erupts. It's the last thread of his fated fortune, remaining from his death in his previous life, the greatest asset of his rebirth. Now, to save his own life, he burns it entirely without a moment's hesitation. Boom. A vast, overwhelming wave of energy erupts outward from him. Chloe's blade, fragile as a blade of grass before this surge, is instantly deflected, and she herself is thrown backward, crashing hard onto the ground. Julian's body, wrapped in that golden light, transforms into a streak of light, fleeing toward the azure sun sect at an unimaginable speed, escaping in a mad rush. "Ethan, you wait for me. My fate is mine to control, not heaven's. I'm the protagonist of this world. You can't take everything from me. Once I fuse with a sex fortune and master an unmatched technique, I'll make you all pay dearly." This venomous, hate-filled curse echoes down from the sky, distant and fading. The escape technique, fueled by burning his fated fortune, moves so fast it exceeds even the core formation realm's limits. In the blink of an eye, his figure vanishes into the sky. Seeing this, the Reed clansmen are all struck with alarm. "We can't let him escape. This man's heart is poisonous. If he makes it back to the Azure Sun sect, it'll cause endless trouble." Marcus is sweating with worry, shouting anxiously. Every eye turns to you, yet you simply stand there in silence, not even showing the slightest intent to give chase. You gaze toward the direction Julian disappeared, the corner of your mouth curling into a barely visible smirk. A broken body and a rebirth, nothing more than a slightly bigger joke, I'd say. You speak flatly, "He won't get away." Those four simple words carry an undeniable confidence and dominance, instantly calming every anxious heart among the Reed clan. After all, you casually erased the sectmaster's spiritual projection itself, so what could a Julian, who's burned his fortune and now runs like a hunted dog, possibly amount to? You give the clown no more thought. You turn and walk over to Chloe. Right now, she sits collapsed on the ground, dazed and hollow-eyed, murmuring to herself, "It's my fault. I hurt you. I hurt the whole Reed family." She's fully consumed by endless self-blame and regret, her mental state right at the edge of collapse. You look at her, brow furrowing slightly. You don't offer comfort, don't reach out to help her up. You simply extend a finger, tapping it against her forehead. A cool, pure stream of chaos energy flows into Chloe's mind, and her mental state, right on the verge of collapse, steadies instantly, the chaos in her thoughts clearing into focus. "Ethan." Chloe slowly lifts her head, looking at this face both familiar and strange, her voice hoarse, tears bursting free once more. This time calling you Ethan carries none of the old distance and pretense, but comes straight from her heart, weighted with endless guilt. Blind once is enough. You retract your finger, your tone still flat. The supreme bone in you has become your inner demon. If it isn't removed, your cultivation will never advance again in this life. Hearing this, Chloe's body jolts. Before, she would have assumed you wanted to take it for yourself, but now, there isn't a shred of doubt left in her heart. She smiles bitterly, nodding. "I understand. It was never really mine to begin with. It's time it returned to its rightful owner. She's already made peace with it. Better to give it back and find peace of mind than to live under the torment of a demon she has no right to carry." You look at her deeply for a moment, and say nothing more. You turn instead toward Damien. "Father, I'm heading out." Damien watches you approach, lips trembling, unsure how to even address the young man before him now. Is he still the failure Damien could once discipline at will? No, he's a god capable of deciding the fate of the entire Reed family, even the whole of Bluestone City. "From today on, I have the final say in the Reed family." You cut straight to the point, making the declaration. Yes, the entire Reed family is entirely at your command." Damien doesn't even hesitate, bowing instantly, his posture even lower than it was before Elder Thorn. No joking around, this is someone who wouldn't even blink at defying the Azure Sun sect's very leader. Never mind stepping down his family head. Even if you asked him to die right now, he wouldn't dare utter a word of complaint. Good, wonderful. The Reed family finally has a true dragon. Grand Elder Marcus is even more overcome, tears of joy streaming down his aged face, while the rest of the Reed clan drop to their knees one after another, their expressions fervent. The strong prey on the weak, the powerful reign supreme. This is the world's eternal, unshakable truth, and the power you've displayed has completely conquered every one of them. Just then, outside the Reed estate, the heads of several other great families in Bluestone City wait anxiously at the gate, bearing lavish gifts, not even daring to breathe too loudly. They've all come to beg forgiveness. You glance briefly outside, unbothered, and instruct Damien, "Seize every one of Julian's properties in Bluestone City. Anyone in the city who's had dealings with him, settle it one by one. As for those people outside, let them wait at the gate." With that, you turn back toward your own courtyard, as if this news, one that could turn the entire city of Bluestone upside down, is nothing more than a trivial matter, from your lips. My son, no my lord. Damien hurriedly calls out to you. The Azure Sun sect, everyone's heart leaps into their throat. This is the true sword hanging over the Reed family, the sharpest blade of all. You've killed one of their elders, destroyed the Sectmaster's spiritual projection. The Azure Sun sect's retaliation is bound to be swift and devastating. World, your footsteps pause for a moment. You don't turn around, only leaving behind a calm statement, one that makes the entire city of Bluestone tremble. Tomorrow, I'll pay the Azure Sun sect a visit. Nothing more that night. The next day, before dawn even breaks, all of Bluestone City is blanketed by an unprecedented sense of dread. Every cultivator in the city stops cultivating on their own, stepping out into the streets, gazing toward the Azure Sun Mountains, every face heavy with tension and unease. Everyone knows today will decide the fate of Bluestone City for the next 100 years. A battle with the Azure Sun sect is inevitable. Inside the Reed estate, the mood is somber to the extreme. Damien gathers every elite guard the family has, activating the family's protective formation, standing ready. Though they all know that in the face of true power, these preparations are nothing but a drop in the bucket. But it's the only thing they can do. Chloe changes into plain white clothing, standing quietly outside your courtyard, having not slept a wink all night. Though her face still looks worn, her eyes have already returned to clarity and resolve. She's waiting for her brother to put an end to all of this. The sun climbs high, they arrive. Boom, boom, boom. A heavy war drum echoes in from the distant sky, pounding as if it strikes straight against every heart present. To the east, a massive shadow blots out the sun as it approaches, fleet after fleet of colossal war vessels, each one packed with armor-clad, powerfully imposing Azure Sun sect disciples. Banners bearing the words Azure Sun flutter and snap in the wind, forming a massive military formation with over 100 war vessels in total, surrounding the entire city of Bluestone completely. A terrifying air of bloodshed and violence converges together, condensing above the city into a sea of blood-red clouds. A complete mobilization. The Azure Sun sect, just to deal with one insignificant junior, has deployed the entirety of its strength. On the most magnificent flagship at the very center, a middle-aged man in a purple dragon-embroidered robe stands with hands folded behind him, dignified without needing to raise his voice. It's Sect Master Alistair Vane of the Azure Sun sect. Beside him stand several elders, their auras equally unfathomable, every one of them a core formation realm powerhouse. A lineup like this could easily flatten 10 cities like Bluestone. Sect Master, that's the city right below, a venomous voice speaks up. Julian steps out from behind Alistair Vane. In just one night, he seems to have aged decades, his once black hair now streaked with strands of silver. The after effects of burning his faded fortune have already begun to show. Yet his eyes gleam with a frightening intensity, burning with a mad fire within. Ethan, that monster, he's in the city! Vane looks down at the city below, small and insignificant before this armada of war vessels, his voice devoid of any emotion. Pass my order, anyone in the city connected to the Reed family will be dealt with severely. Anyone harboring Reed remnants will be expelled from the sect. Anyone who resists will have their cultivation stripped. The icy command travels via spiritual energy, spreading to every corner of Bluestone City. Wails and despair fill the streets. This is the tyranny of a top-tier sect. In their eyes, mortal lives are worth no more than weeds. Julian, Vaughn turns to the man beside him. You're certain this Ethan has a heaven-tier treasure? This is the real reason he's mobilized his entire sect. I swear it on my Tao heart, not a single word of it is a lie. Julian's answer is firm and unwavering. It's an incredible suit of dragon-shaped armor, its grade so high I've never seen anything like it in my life. Fervent greed erupts in Vane's eyes. If we can obtain that armor, the Azure Sun sect will instantly become the strongest sect for 10,000 li in every direction. His tone shifts. As for you, you've already burned your fortune, your foundation ruined, no further progress possible in this lifetime. But since you've offered up this treasure, this sect master will grant you a chance for revenge. Thank you, sect master. A savage grin spreads across Julian's face. He bites down hard, splitting his tongue, spraying essence blood into the empty air before him. With my body I ignite my source, with my soul I burn my potential. I stake everything, every last drop of fortune I've gained since my rebirth, for the power of one final battle. Secret art, the bloodfire right. As he chants madly, his already fading aura surges upward in a way that defies belief. His body grows taller, his shrunken muscles refill, and his graying hair returns to jet black. A terrifying pressure, far beyond even early-stage core formation realm, erupts violently from within him, edging close, however faintly, to the threshold of late-stage core formation. This is his final trump card, the last battle he's prepared just for you. Ethan, come out and die! Julian howls up at the sky, his voice dripping with mad exhilaration. Just then, the gate to the rundown courtyard in the Reed estate creaks open, swinging slowly wide. A figure in black, bathed in sunlight, steps out unhurried. It's you! You look up, glancing once at the dark, sprawling army above, then once at the aura-surging, half-mad figure of Julian, your expression showing not a hint of concern. as if this spectacle, one grand enough to make heaven and earth pale, is nothing more to you than a swarm of flies buzzing around. You step forward once, and your figure is already hovering above the Reed estate, facing off against that colossal armada from a distance. Come at me together, I'm in a bit of a hurry, and this way I can deal with all of you at once. Your utterly flat voice carries clearly across the sky, into the ears of tens of thousands of Azure Sun disciples, and yet this calm casual tone strikes them as even more absurd, even more infuriating than the wildest arrogance would be. Deal with us? Deal with what, exactly? Deal with our 100+ war vessels, our tens of thousands of elite disciples, our sect master, and every one of our elders. Has he gone mad, or is he simply a fool? Insolent, even at death's door he dares run his mouth. Kill him. Avenge Elder Thorn. Wipe the entire Reed family out of Bluestone City. After a brief silence, the fleet erupts into a roar loud enough to shake mountains and rouse seas. Yet up on the flagship, Vane does not give the order. He stares fixedly at you below, an unease growing stronger and stronger in his chest. This young man is far too calm. Not the calm of an ant about to be crushed by an army, but the calm of a god looking down at a farce playing out among mortals. Especially that gentle clenching of his fist. No ripple of spiritual power detected at all. And yet it sends even a late-stage core formation master like Vane into a moment of visceral unease. Sect master, don't let him rattle you. Julian's frantic voice cuts in, already fully consumed by the fires of vengeance, his reason gone entirely. He's definitely bluffing. With my source power boosted now, my strength is multiplied 100-fold. Killing him will be effortless. Ethan, come die. Julian can wait no longer. He roars, charging forward to attack first. He presses both hands together at his chest, the burning phantom of fortune behind him solidifying into a vivid form. A blurred figure dressed in imperial robes, wielding an emperor's blade, slowly materializing. Destined for sovereignty, the sovereign dragon fist, accompanied by a sky-shaking dragon roar, that imperial phantom, carrying a will to judge all beings, to rule the world, with supreme authority, unleashes a punch, a golden aura at the peak of splendor, transforming into a 5-clawed golden dragon that tears through the sky, roaring straight toward you. This single punch carries the fortune he's stolen, the last remnants of destiny he's clung to. Its power far exceeds the boundaries of the core formation realm. Wherever the fist's force points, space fractures inch by inch. Below, the countless formations and wards protecting Bluestone City's buildings shatter violently under this pressure. This is Julian's strongest strike, the one he's staked absolutely everything on. He believes this single punch is enough to shatter you completely, armor and all. Facing this world-ending strike, you finally react. You don't even bother looking at the roaring golden dragon barreling toward you. You simply raise your head slowly, gazing up at the sky. In that instant, your pitch-black eyes change. In your left eye, chaos energy swirls, as if an entire universe is unfolding life within it. In your right eye, primordial violet mist swirls, as if it's the source itself before heaven and earth were formed, endless and unfathomable. The primordial eyes fully bloom. At the same time, an indescribably ancient aura awakens within you, and behind you, a hazy vision begins to unfold slowly. A boundless void of chaos, with no time, no space, no laws, only endless chaos energy churning and surging. As this vision appears, the entire world seems to freeze in place. The wind stops, the clouds solidify, and the 100+ war vessels freeze like insects trapped in amber, not stirring even slightly. The savage sneers and disdain on tens of thousands of Azure Sun disciples' faces freeze in place completely. Even Vane discovers, horrified, that his own spiritual power has stopped flowing entirely. This entire realm, in this moment, no longer follows its old laws. Instead, another, older, far more supreme set of rules has forcibly taken over. The only thing still able to move is that sovereign dragon fist, fused with every last drop of Julian's fortune. Yet the moment it crosses within 100 feet of you, something unbelievable happens. That magnificent 5-clawed golden dragon, the vast spiritual power that makes up its body, the imperial law woven into it, begins collapsing and disintegrating at a speed visible to the naked eye, eventually reducing to raw, primal energy that scatters into nothingness. Like ice meeting a blazing sun, no, even more absolute than that. It's a rule of a higher order, one rooted in the very source of life itself. Within your chaos domain, every law and every form of energy that came into being after the beginning of the world is nothing but illusion. No, impossible. The madness and triumph on Julian's face dissolve into endless horror. He watches helpless as his strongest strike simply vanishes into thin air, dozens of feet from ever reaching you, not even brushing the edge of your robe. Is that your trump card? You finally settle your gaze on him. That indifferent, emotionless stare drops Julian into a pit of ice. So-called destiny, so-called rebirth, truly the most laughable thing I've ever seen. The words fall, and your figure vanishes from where it stood. No technique used at all, just the purest movement of body, one that transcends both space and perception. A muffled thud. Julian doesn't even manage a reaction before his chest takes a solid, direct punch. Crack. The supreme bone he was once so proud of shatters instantly. The powerful body he'd bought by burning his fortune proves as fragile as rotten wood before this seemingly plain, unremarkable punch. He plummets like a meteor from the sky, crashing violently into the Reed Estates arena, kicking up clouds of dust. A mouthful of blood mixed with fragments of shattered organs sprays wildly from Julian's mouth. He struggles trying to rise, only to find at least half the bones in his body are broken. Meanwhile, up in the sky, your figure slowly solidifies again at the exact spot you'd been standing. One punch, just one, and this so-called chosen one, who burned every last drop of his fortune to surge to late-stage core formation strength, is now left critically wounded. The entire world falls into dead silence. In the sky above, tens of thousands of Azure Sun disciples, along with every elder present including Vayne himself, all turn as still and blank as statues, entirely incapable of processing what they've just witnessed. What did they just see? Julian, who burned his very life and fortune, who grew so powerful even the Sectmaster felt a flicker of fear, was defeated with a single punch. That sovereign dragon fist, vanishing into thin air, that chaos domain, before which the very laws of heaven and earth submitted, that terrifying speed, too fast even for spiritual senses to track, all of it, every last piece, has completely obliterated everything they thought they knew. Monster. On the flagship, one of the core formation elders forces those two trembling words from his lips. Fear, like a plague, spreads wildly through the entire Azure Sun army. Down in the arena, your figure descends slowly, walking step by step to the edge of the crater, looking down from above at the mangled mud-like shape lying at the bottom. Julian coughs violently, spasm after spasm, blood spilling out with every gasp. He lifts his head, fixing you with eyes full of venom and confusion, staring straight at you. Why? Why? I'm the protagonist. I'm the reborn one destined for greatness. I should have crushed everything in my path, risen to the very peak. Why would I lose to you, the villain? He can't understand it. He carries the memories of his past life. He knew of countless opportunities, and he even stole the supreme bone that should have belonged to someone else. His life script was supposed to be one triumphant victory after another, crushing gods and Buddhas alike who stood in his way. So why, ever since meeting you, has everything gone wrong? Every one of his schemes has turned into a joke, every trump card he held proving weak and useless. Protagonist? On your face finally appears a flicker of genuine amusement, the kind reserved for watching a clown perform. Who told you that you were the protagonist? You don't bother explaining further. Your primordial eyes, swirling with chaos and primordial mist, blaze with light. The next instant, an invisible will spreads over the entire city of Bluestone. In every mind, vivid, unmistakable images begin to surface, unbidden. A soul, adrift in endless darkness, carrying towering resentment and bitter refusal to accept its fate, tearing through time and space, returning to the past. The scene shifts. Julian, the moment he first met Chloe, that gentle, refined exterior masking a flash of pure greed for the supreme bone hidden inside her. It shows how he sweet-talked Chloe into scouting the way for him in the Dragon Ascension secret realm, using her as a shield through calculated scheme after scheme. How he claimed the entire legacy alone in the Sword Sovereign's cave, then turned right around and made hollow, earnest promises about their future to Chloe's face. It shows, deep in his mind, how he saw the Reed family, the Azure Sun sect, and everyone else purely as stepping stones for his own ascent to power, the darkest of intentions. These scenes, these most closely guarded thoughts, are torn ruthlessly out of the depths of Julian's soul by your primordial eyes, laid bare for everyone to see. No, that's fake, it's all fake! Julian lets out a heart-wrenching scream, his greatest secret, his identity as a reborn soul, the darkest corner of his heart, all exposed nakedly before everyone present. His last shred of dignity is torn apart entirely, ground beneath your feet, crushed over and over. Up in the sky, Vayne's face turns iron gray. He finally understands. He's been played. Some sect prodigy, some chosen one, from start to finish, nothing more than a lowly thief who used the Azure Sun sect as a tool. He'd mobilized his entire sect, thrown everything into this, all for something so worthless, provoking a terrifying being he can't even begin to comprehend. Regret and killing intent twist together inside his chest. Meanwhile, on the ground, those Reed clansmen who once felt some sympathy for Julian now wear nothing on their faces but endless disgust and lingering fear. Chloe most of all. Watching these images, her whole body trembles violently, each false smile, each tender lie, now transforming into a sharpened blade, tearing her heart into 1,000 pieces. See it now? Your voice rings out beside Julian's ear. You're not the protagonist. You're just a thief who stole someone else's belongings, dreamed of becoming the master, and got dragged back to reality as the pathetic worm you really are. No, I did nothing wrong. The strong prey on the weak. The victor rules. That's how this world works. I just wanted to take back everything that's rightfully mine. Julian howls, half mad. Rightfully yours? Your foot presses down lightly onto Julian's face, grinding his defiant scream and his last shred of madness into the dirt beneath your foot. You? Deserve it? Boom. This single stomp seems to shatter something invisible. Julian's entire body jolts violently, the spark in his eyes dimming rapidly, visible to the naked eye. His last conviction, the very pillar of his rebirth, the belief that, I am destiny itself. In this moment you crush it in the most brutal, most direct way possible. His conviction shatters. And as it does, the fated fortune wrapped deep within his soul, the fortune that was never truly his, loses its foundation entirely, dissolving into threads of golden light that spill out of his body. This escaping fortune, as if drawn by some fatal pull, rushes wildly, competing to reach you first, flooding into your body. Your chaos body acts like a bottomless black hole, accepting everything, devouring every last drop of the escaping fortune, absorbing it entirely. Julian's body withers and ages rapidly, his once black hair turning gray in an instant, before finally crumbling into ash. His life force drains away at breakneck speed. In the final moment of his consciousness, he finally understands. He was never really the chosen one at all. He was only ever a farce, a joke, and you are the true master of this story. A soft pop. Julian's body can no longer hold its shape, dissolving into a handful of ash that scatters in the wind. One generation's reborn soul, body and spirit both destroyed. Julian is dead, blown away like a speck of dust, leaving no trace of himself behind in this world. Sky and ground alike remain in dead silence, every eye fixed on the figure standing in the center of the arena, dressed in black, untouched by even a speck of dust. You've dealt with Julian, as if you'd simply swatted away an annoying fly with a flick of your hand. Having finished this, you slowly lift your head, your gaze passing over tens of thousands of Azure Sun disciples, all struck utterly silent, finally landing on the figure aboard the flagship, whose expression shifts unpredictably. Sect Master Alistair Vane of the Azure Sun Sect. Now it's your turn. Your voice isn't loud, yet it lands like a hammer, striking straight into the heart of every Azure Sun member. Vane's heart plunges. He takes a deep breath, forcibly suppressing his fear, and steps forward off the flagship, cupping his hands toward you from a distance. Esteemed Elder, he says, using the honorific outright, everything that happened today is because the Azure Sun Sect was deceived by that traitor Julian, which led us into this grave mistake. I, Alistair Vane, wish to apologize on behalf of the entire sect. Whatever you ask of us, the Azure Sun Sect will comply without exception. I only ask, esteemed Elder, that you consider the innocence of my sect's tens of thousands of disciples and show us mercy. This sect master, dignified and commanding on any ordinary day, now bows as low as he possibly can, trying to trade the entire sect's future for a sliver of survival. Yet you simply watch him in silence, saying nothing. Those all-seeing eyes make Vane feel as though he's been seen through, inside and out, a chill shooting straight from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. Deceived? You finally speak, a faint trace of mockery in your voice. If Julian hadn't spoken of a heaven-tier suit of armor, would you have come at all? If you hadn't coveted the treasures on my body, would you have mobilized your entire sect, thrown everything into this? A single sentence strips away every last layer of Vane's pretense, his face flushing liver red instantly. When you make a mistake, you pay for it. Your voice carries not a hint of emotion, and your price is the dissolution of your sect. The moment those words leave your mouth, the last flicker of hope in Vane's heart is completely extinguished, replaced by boundless fury and ferocity. Runt, don't push your luck too far. Do you truly believe one man alone can stand against the entire Azure Sun Sect? All elders, heed my command. Activate the Godslayer array. Vane lets out a hysterical roar, knowing full well there's no chance of resolving today's matter peacefully anymore. Only battle remains. At his command, the several core formation elders beside him, along with hundreds of heaven-piercing realm core disciples aboard the fleet, all fly out together, arranging themselves according to some intricate formation, their spiritual power surging out wildly, interlinking, converging into a raging river of energy. A massive array, covering 10 li in every direction, materializes out of nothing. Within the array, killing intent surges skyward, condensing into a colossal energy blade, thousands of feet long, crackling with blue lightning, its tip locking onto you from a distance. This is the Azure Sun Sect's Godslayer array, the very foundation of their confidence to dominate 10,000 li unchallenged. Once activated, this array can slay even a peak core formation realm powerhouse. Kill him! Vane's eyes bloodshot with rage as he barks the order. That colossal blade, thousands of feet long, carrying a force capable of annihilating everything, comes crashing down straight at your head. Facing this ultimate strike, one drawing on the combined strength of the entire Azure Sun Sect's leadership, your expression remains completely blank. You don't even bother summoning the Chaos Vision behind you. You simply raise your right hand slowly, forming your fingers into a blade, and slash casually at the colossal descending blade. There's no world-shaking momentum, no dazzling burst of light, just that simple, effortless slash. A faint black line, seemingly able to swallow all light, flickers across your fingertip for the briefest instant, landing on that colossal blade, the one channeling the entire array's power. Starting from its tip, a thin black crack begins to spread silently, the crack widening until the enormous blade splits cleanly in two, then dissolves into countless points of light, scattering and vanishing. Splat, splat, splat. Every elder and disciple who'd woven the array is struck as if by lightning, coughing up mouthfuls of blood in unison, their auras collapsing instantly. The array is broken, shattered by one casual flick of a finger. No, impossible. Vane's composure crumbles entirely. You give him no further chances. You take a single step, your figure appearing directly before him like a phantom. Vane only manages to get out a single syllable before your finger taps lightly against his forehead. Bang! The sect master of the Azure Sun sect, a late-stage core formation realm powerhouse, Alistair Vane. His body instantly dissolves into points of light, vanishing into the space around him. Flashes ripple across the sky, one after another. With each flash, another core formation elder's body dissolves into light and vanishes. In the span of mere seconds, every leader of the Azure Sun sect is dead. With that done, you float in the air, looking down at the 100+ war vessels below, at the tens of thousands of disciples already scared out of their minds, hearts frozen with terror. You slowly extend your hand, fingers spread, then gently close your fist. Rumble, rumble, rumble. In the sky above, those 100+ once impregnable war vessels seem to be seized by an invisible hand, twisting and warping instantly, before finally exploding apart. Countless Azure Sun disciples, amid despairing wails, are teleported back to the Azure Sun Mountains through emergency arrays. A sect war capable of reshaping the entire region's power balance comes to a close in this almost absurd fashion. Sometime later, you slowly descend from the sky, returning to the Reed estate. You walk up to Chloe. Ethan. She looks at you, her voice trembling, her eyes filled with conflicting emotion. Hold out your hand. You speak flatly. Chloe extends her hand instinctively. You form your fingers into a blade, slashing gently across her chest. The supreme bone that once brought her both endless glory and endless pain is drawn out by a gentle force, floating in midair. Chloe pales but doesn't resist in the slightest. Yet you don't take the supreme bone away for yourself. A pure stream of chaos energy flows from your fingertip, wrapping around the bone. Refined by the chaos energy, the last traces of impurity within the supreme bone are stripped away, leaving it crystal clear, radiant with a divine glow. Having finished this, you flick your finger, and the fully transformed supreme bone sinks back into Chloe's body. Boom! A far more powerful aura than before erupts from within Chloe, her cultivation foundation reshaped completely in this instant. This is... Chloe feels the surging power within her, unable to believe it. It's yours. It's yours. Your voice remains just as flat. You turn and walk back toward your courtyard, leaving behind the entire Reed family, even the whole of Bluestone City, kneeling in fervent, awestruck reverence. Just as you're about to step into your courtyard, your footsteps pause slightly. In your own chest, right where the supreme bone that was once taken from you used to be, a sudden burning heat spreads. It's the bone that Julian once stole from you, now regrown by your chaos body. A supreme bone that truly belongs to you. In this moment, the two supreme bones seem to resonate with each other, and a massive stream of information, from some far-off point beyond time and space, rushes suddenly into your mind. A shattered starfield, countless gods and demons locked in endless battle, blood-soaked ancient kings falling from the heavens. And at the very edge of that battlefield, a blurred figure seems to sense your gaze, slowly turning to look back. A fractured will, one that has crossed eons of time and space, echoes in your mind. Wait for my return. I'll settle everything.